Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
G'day everyone, welcome to a very action-packed episode of the GiddyUp Podcast. Can you believe it or not, it is episode 28 for 2024. Now, as per usual, I'm joined by some bloke. Now, you might know him as a three-time Paralympian from 96 in Atlanta, 2000 in Sydney, 2004 in Athens. You might know him as the other half to the very wonderful Boof. You might know him as a dad of four wonderful kids. Well, except for Hayden. Juries are still a bit out on him at the moment. But you might know him as a motivational speaker. Or you might even know him as head of events for one community. But Don has assured me that more than all of that stuff, I've got it on very good authority that his proudest achievement is none of that. It's just been co-host to the GiddyUp Podcast. Donnie, welcome.
Mate, I tell you what, if you weren't my manager already, you would be after that. What a absolute stellar introduction. Seriously, I love the fact that I'm just Donnie from the block and I am here for the people. I'm a man of the people, and here we are. I was literally having a nano little coughing fit right before the when the little intro was on, and I was pretty bloody going, oh no, you might lose me tonight, JT, but I'm here, so we're good to go, mate. And haven't we got some stories to cover? There's a fair bit going on in the world.
There's a lot going on in the world, Don. So we've got all the usual segments tonight. I hope we've got some bottles of Spank, because you've been away. So how's the production going, mate? Because it's a lot of work, you know. Here we go. All right, there's still a bit going on. This is fantastic news for everyone. So
Mother's milk.
Mother's
JT,
milk.
This is a peach number. It's peach with infused peach with a little dash of lime soda. So I bloody love it. That's my favourite drop, and I know most people that come to my house, I do my best to pour a bit into them, and most people don't refuse either, which is fantastic. So, and there will be, JT, there will be a bit of a lineup for the Spank this Saturday night. The midget of all people, number 3, the third born, turns 18. Followed, of course, your M not that long back, and now my midgie turns 18, so it's going to be a very large one. She finished her last exam this week, and for someone who wasn't going to do any exams, I thought, bloody good on her. We talked her into it, or talked her around, and it's bloody fantastic that she's got that done. So that's behind her, and there's a whole lot of kids descending, or young adults descending on all the party nations around the world, making them their own. And so we've got a big shout out to all the schoolies as well. And JT, it's bloody important they stay safe, right?
Yeah, recent events, if you've been listening to the news, the very tragic story emerging of a couple of young Aussies, and it wasn't just a couple of Aussies, there was other kids that were impacted, having some drinks spiked, I believe. Oh, not spiked, sorry. It was, what do they do, Don? They just basically try and dilute it down with a bit of cheap stuff. Is that...
That's it. So a bit of like methanol. That's basically, when you make alcohol, honestly, this shit's not rocket science, right? And it's water, it's yeast, and it's sugar. Okay, that is the formula. And unfortunately, it's a shitload of sugar. So when I make start with a batch of alcohol, I will start with a 20-litre drum of water at about, somewhere between 20 to 30 degrees. I then put in a packet of yeast, which you can just get at any bloody place, a packet of yeast, and then it's around about 6 to 8 kilos of sugar. So there's a lot of sugar that goes in this. That ferments over a couple of weeks, and then in 2 weeks' time, or not even, sometimes it's less than that, you put it in a still and you boil it, and off comes alcohol. Now, the first 50 to 100 mil of that is poisonous. That's metho, basically. It's you don't drink it, it will put you in hospital. Actually, it could kill you. So you get rid of that first lot because it's dangerous.
What do you do with it? Just down the sink, literally just complete waste.
Well, I grab the cap and I use it in a spray bottle for disinfectant. So so it's not a complete waste, but you just don't drink it. And then, of course, what you do, JT, is the rest of it is usually around 95 proof alcohol. So after that, you've got to dilute it. You just water it down. And, of course, anyone who's trying to make more money or trying to take shortcuts is just going to not follow the same steps or the right steps. And, of course, when people get a taste of cash, typically they get greedy and they'll try and take shortcuts. And those shortcuts sometimes, to the detriment of the innocent people that are on the receiving end, can kill people. And we see it with drugs, and I'm not a fan of drugs, and everyone knows who's listened to the show knows that I've never had a single drug in my life apart from alcohol and tobacco. But that's not to say that I don't get it. I understand. I get people going to take it. They're going to dabble. They're going to experiment. But I tell you what, with all the kids that are hitting the party scenes right now in schoolies, celebrating the hard work, there is nothing more tragic than going out on a limb and trying something for the first time, and unbeknownst to yourself, some dirty bastard on the other end has taken a shortcut and could kill you. So, guys, just be careful. The easiest way to be careful is buy your own drinks when you're at a place that's unfamiliar, like different countries, for example. Buy your own drinks, sealed drinks, typically, and the stuff that you know. Don't be going having free shots from a bar. Don't be having stuff from a stranger, because there's every chance it's probably laced with some shit. It's been cut down and could kill you. So, and it's just not worth it.
Mate, wise words. So, because you're right, everyone is about to send on schoolies, whether it's up at the Gold Coast, out of Byron, or wherever you might be going. Play it safe. Obviously, this happened in Laos, where I guess the controls over maybe bars and stuff might be a little bit looser than what you'd probably get down here. But nevertheless, you've got to be wise wherever you go these days. So, yes, there we go. Now, Don, a lot to get through tonight. We've got all our usual segments. I promise you, I have got one of the best dad jokes of all time.
Really? Mate, I'll tell you what, I'm looking around here because I've got bloody more screens here than NASA, and I want to make sure I keep up tonight because I've done the usual amount of, heavy lifting when it comes to research, JT.
They're the words I'd use. Heavy lifting.
I think Krispy Kreme should be our new sponsor because that's how much work I've done for this show tonight. Donuts. But what I can tell you, JT, is I've spent a lot of time this week or last week. This week I was in Canberra. Last week I was in Mackay and Sydney. That was the big one. I put a little message on the chat there. Probably didn't get through because we every week get some message from Meta or Facebook or some vlogs out there that tell us we're breaking the rules with music infringements or some crap. So I'm not sure if my message got through, JT. But I was standing in front of the beautiful big. What's that? The bridge. The bridge, that was our backdrop for ADSTA. The Australian Disability Service Awards, JT. And I tell you what, mate,
I absolutely robbed again, I've got to say, Ton. I didn't get the call up. There was no nomination. A bit pissed off, but anyway,
it's a lot harder to win the awards when you're not nominated, mate. But it's not to say you don't do a lot for the disability sector. I mean, you've been my manager for a long, long time now, and well, let's be honest, JT, you should have got an award. You did encourage me to get a disabled parking permit, and I get some of the best parks in the country. That's a fantastic one, so you should have been awarded for that. But, mate, there's some good stuff happening out there, and I tell you what, when you line them up and you know what the judges have gone through and you have a listen to the criteria, what I love about it is that most scammers, most people, entrepreneurs, most wannabes will smell insurance money and go, right, let's get in there and support and look after the disabled people. But when you line it up against real good quality things that are happening, programs and inventions and innovations and people that have just put some skin in the game and back themselves to help other people, geez, some bloody great stuff going on, mate. So it was really, really good. I got to co-host that with Christy Dawes, 7-time Paralympian, bloody underachiever, and Ben Sorensen. He's a funny man with a great voice, and he did a fair bit of the reading throughout the night of all the finalists. So we had a ball, mate. So that's where I was last week. So again, apologies that I wasn't here with you, mate, but I'm back.
You are back, indeed you are. Well, we're going to get straight into, because we've got a lot to get through, but I promise you it's going to be a good mix of, there's a bit of funny stuff to get through tonight, and we've also got, for us anyway, at the GiddyUp Podcast, a pretty hard-hitting episode that is very close to home, and we will reveal a little bit more on that a little bit later, but it's fair to say, let's tear up at the best of times. This might be a tough one to get through tonight as well. All right, let's get into our first segment, Donny. And you're probably going, well, what is it? Because I know, as you said, mate, there's a lot of research that goes on. So I'm just going to go straight into this one.
You bloody mongrel!
Now, this is our segment, Donny, where we get to call out things that are all Australian, all right? Something that an Aussie has done somewhere, and you go, yeah, typical bloody Aussie. Now, Don, one got on your radar because you are a man that is travelling around. You get to see a lot of the world. You're very up to date with world events, Donny. So what got on your radar for this one?
Well, JT, like a little while ago, right, we had a former Prime Minister, the days when we had the revolving door for bloody Prime Ministers, and we had a new one every 30 seconds. And a big shout out, by the way, to our regulars, a couple are back. It's great to have your mum on board, and Kim D, she's back, so I think I know where the vodka's going tonight. She's a prolific winner. But it is... It is fantastic to see the world news, JT. That's what I do. I follow current affairs.
You do. All over it.
All over it. But I did see, right, a little while ago, K. Rudd put out a tweet or something. Kevin Rudd, former Australian Prime Minister, so he deserves that little bit of credibility. Sure. And he said, what's his name? Trumpy is one of the worst bloody presidents in history. He's bad for the world. No, his exact words, because I can't, repeat them verbatim because I don't remember. But
research.
But what I can tell you is I saw a clip today and I thought, you're shitting me. K. Rudd is in suck overdrive. And I say this because now he's backtracked on his words and he says, well, basically, we're ready to work with the current administration, with Trumping. Now, seriously, if you are going to go and bag somebody and say they're really, really shit, then you've put your balls on the line, you've got some skin in the game, and people go, yeah, good on you, that's bloody right. That's a former Australian Prime Minister for you. You don't then go and suck up their ass when they get re-elected. What you do is you say, well, blow it out your ass, I'm out of here because I still think you're a dickhead. So the fact that K. Rudd has now switched his tune just says that is why. Classic Aussie JT, that's why the Australian people said, hey, K. Rudd, piss off. And we got rid of him because he's useless. Because you just don't do that, JT. If you're going to say something, stick to your guns, I say.
Yeah, no, you're right, Don, and your extensive research probably would have told you that the tweets were made years ago, and what K. Rudd did is all the tweets on X, or Twitter as it was now known. So K. Rudd had sledged off Donald Trump on multiple occasions. Now, of course, as we all know, Trump won the election. He's going to be the incoming president in the US. Trump thought, hey, you know what? No one will notice this. I'll just go and delete all those tweets where I was sledging off old Trumpy, because that's probably not a good look. But, of course, as we know, Don, once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. So the good old internet sleuths said, hey, hang on a minute, K. Rudd's deleted a whole bunch of... and now, of course, he's backtracking like any politician would do. So, yes, that's the story.
I stand by my argument, JT. If you go dropping that shit out even 5 years ago, then stiff, you're gone. You're out of it. You're absolutely soft as they come. So I'm not saying that he didn't have... what I'm saying, mate, is pick a side of the fence and stand on it. Don't sit on the bloody middle and then put a foot on each side. And I say that because, when you're a man with 1 foot, you're committed. It's either in this side or that side. But, I thought piss poor.
I agree, mate. Now, of course, the other big news of the week, Don, I don't know how much you were in because you had a lot going on this week, but there was a little bit of a small fight going on, if you heard about it.
I heard something on Netflix. I've been trying to get through.
Yes,
the was that pay per view or what?
It was not pay per view. So it was the Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and it was streamed live on Netflix. So as long as you had a Netflix account, you could watch the fight live. Now, of course, Tyson had been a long time retired, 68 years old or whatever the hell, he's 58 years old, I think he was, against Jake Paul. There was a lot of people that, mate, the jury was out before the fight, you know. I was like, geez, if Tyson just gets one good one in, there was lots of clips with him, you know, shuffling around, smashing things, looking like he was ready to go, you know, and of course, mate, he's one of the best ever in terms of boxing, and, well, Donnie, we've got to be very, very careful with copyright, as you sort of alluded to earlier, but Donnie, we owe it to our viewers. If you didn't get a chance to see it on Netflix, I have managed to secure a little bit of footage. Mate, I've got a little bit of footage. I can only show a little bit because otherwise...
Let's have a look, because I was busy.
Mate, otherwise the copyright people will flag us if we run it too long. So here's just a sneak preview. You just got to watch in, coming close to the screen. Watch this, mate, about 5 seconds that I managed to score. So here it is, mate.
Is it
this is it here. This is Tyson, and just getting one in there to Jake Paul, and mate, it was that pretty much sums up the whole fight, mate. It was pathetic.
That's about as heavy hitting as it got, wasn't it? It was
very disappointing. But from a Netflix perspective, Donnie, how's this for a number? I wrote this down. 108 million live global viewers tuned in to watch the fight. So it's fair to say, from a Netflix perspective, it was a resounding success. And I dare say we will start seeing a lot more live sporting events coming on Netflix in the near future.
So, JT, the question I've got for you is how long before Netflix sells out and starts selling advertising space? Because
they're already doing
it. Foxtel... Do they already sell ads?
Mate, they're already doing it. They're already offering a cheaper plan now where you can get some ads in. So already that horse is bolted.
But
you have a choice.
I get that in terms of the offer, right? Because remember when Foxtel first started?
No ads.
It was like, pay-per-view, no ads, this is great. All of a sudden, there's no option. You just cop an ads left, right and centre. It's like, what's this bullshit? I'm not paying for this. I can get free-to-air ads.
Oh, yes you are.
Well, I tell you how I am, true. But it's disappointing, JT. That's the ultimate double dip when you pay for something and then you've still got to be put through the bullshit that goes with it. So I hope Netflix just at least holds a little bit of ground and says, yep, there's two different, and there's a road in Thailand. I bloody love it. It's a highway up high, and if you go on it, it's there's a toll road, and underneath you get a few traffic lights and shit, but it's free. And you go, roll the dice, take your pick your own adventure, JT. So that's how it should be. I don't mind that, but Foxtel can get stuff for ramming the ads down my throat. Anyway, what a fight, mate. That's
fair call. Yeah, it was pretty ordinary. I was a bit excited to watch it, tuned in. I was had to pick up Emma at the time, so I had it going on the phone, and I was sort of watching, and I thought this could be good. I was like, maybe Tyson, can he do one for the old fellas? And mate, no, he couldn't.
What day was that, JT? Was that on Sunday?
It's a very good question. What was it? Yeah, I'm sure some of our listeners will help me out. I think it was Saturday. But I might be wrong.
I did get a bit busy, and a big shout out to my beautiful first wife, the one and only Wolf, who had a JT. I don't know if you've ever had one of these, but an irregular heartbeat, and so instead of the old heart going boom, 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 boom. And when Donny Boy walks in the house, boom, 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 boom. Instead of it just doing that, hers was going all absolutely AWire, and it needed a kickstart. So we went off to she went off down to the chemist, and they did a blood pressure test. Said, hey, that's some weird shit going on here. 150, and then down to 70, and all over the shop. So off to the Monash Medical, JT. Hats off to these guys.
How'd they go,
mate? They gave me a call. I thought, sitting around the hospital for ages, I've got shit to do. So I come home and Buff's in the old waiting bit, and they ring up and said, Donny boy, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to knock her out a bit, give her some fentanyl, and I'm just going to, hang on a minute, but all medically induced and all the right stuff, and we don't want to completely wipe her out like they do to you every 30 seconds for an operation because you're the man of ops. But they basically brought her right down and then give her the old, what are those things that they're in the shopping centres and shit, and Kerry Packer put them in there because they go on your heart, but not...
ECGs? Defibrillators. Yeah.
So they stuck that onto her and then boom, give her a kick and good as gold. Well, not physically kicked her, but...
shocked her back into rhythm. Yeah.
Shocked her, gave her a shock, overrode her, and she's good as gold, mate. So she'll get another 50 years out of her, which is bloody fantastic. So very, very happy, and it's good to have her back. I was a little bit worried. But
mate, that's scary stuff, mate. So I'm glad you're okay, Boof. When you start talking heart stuff, it gets very scary very, very quickly. So that's a very good result. Now, Don, yes. I know you are a man of the entertainment world, and if there's a movie, a new show, a new Netflix series, you are all over it. And so I have no doubt this has not escaped your radar. Now, you also like going to a bit of theatre, Don. Have you ever gone to see Wicked?
Wicked.
Did you ever see Wicked?
Wicked. I can't remember if I've seen it. I've been to a few.
Vaguely recall that you might have, but I can't remember if you did.
Pussy in Boots? No,
maybe not. Very popular. I personally haven't seen it. I'm sure some of our listeners have probably seen it. It's been a very successful show for a long period of time, but of course, like every theatre, at some point it's going to come to the big screen. And, well, it is the debut of Wicked, the movie. Now, Don, I know you're going, that's bloody exciting. It's starring Ariel Grande, or whatever her bloody name is. So I know you're going, who the hell's that? But she's a singer, and kids love her. And some other lady in there. Doesn't really matter. It's not important. This story, however, is important, Don, because this is one that I absolutely... when you just sort of go, well, when things sort of stuff up, they really stuff up. Well,
yes.
So this is the movie that's come out, Don. Now, of course, if there's a movie, every movie's got to have an action hero doll or a bloody doll or whatever. So this is the Wicked doll that you can buy, the doll with the movie. And, of course, all the kids would want one of those for Christmas, of course, right? So, you look at this beautiful doll there and you go, wow, that's awesome. I'd love one of those. And, well, Donnie, at the back of the dolls, like everything, you've got to have all the T's and C's and where to find all that information and all that sort of stuff, right? So... a bit of research here, Don, and you can see on the back here it's got, wicked.com, and you go, yep, this is done by Universal Studios, and you go, this is great. So the kids are like getting their doll, they're all excited, and they're like, I wonder what other accessories they've got for my beautiful doll, Donnie. Now, of course, they go to, this is what they're expecting to see, Donnie, the Wicked website, and it's in theatres coming soon. But unfortunately, Don, some people didn't do their homework, Don, and Wicked.com had to do a lot of research on this for our viewers. But Wicked.com.
Oh dear. This is straight off your mum's home screen, I'm telling you now. That is, that's what was printed. That's actually Wicked.com, is it?
That is Wicked.com. That is Wicked.com. Yes. And so now the website for the movie is actually called Wicked the Movie or something.com. But obviously no one did their homework on it, and they just went with Wicked.com on the back of the packaging. And a lot of these dolls have gone out globally, right? So
that's a collector's item now.
Talk about awkward moments.
I was waiting, thinking, how do they back out from this? Do they go all woke and shit, or do they just own it, or do they apologise, or what do they do? What's their...
I don't know what you do
being in that meeting on Monday morning when somebody actually... You'd hate to be the agency that said, Wicked.com, we signed the form and we own the rights. Mate... I've seen some people get reamed for a lot less than that, so I'm pretty sure there'll be some reaming going on in that by the looks of it. But wow, that's bloody amazing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stuff up. It's fair to say. Now, Donnie, we do have a little.
Off, JT. Just a sec. You'd be pissed off if you went through the shop and you bought that, and then you went on the website and thought, we'll go and watch the movie, and then you got the real movie. That would be upsetting.
Yeah, it wouldn't be ideal, would it? So, no.
Anyway. What else we got? That's a good pill.
Now, we have this little segment. We just drop it in every now and then, Donnie, when we want to give a bit of a shout-out to some locals that are doing something great, or you've had a great experience. And, well, Donnie, you've got one. I've got one as well for this week. So, mate, tell us your local shout-out. I'd love to hear it.
Mate, I hear an absolute shellacking of our friends at Qantas. And I say our friends because I've been loyal to Qantas for a long, long time. And I've knocked over lifetime gold status, so I'm a bit of a fan of that.
You hadn't mentioned that yet.
I don't follow a lot of shit on Facebook in the world, but I did sign up just because I figured, well, not many people be able to do this one, to the Platinum Club and to the Lifetime Gold. And mostly what I find is people bloody whinge all the time. People, the higher up they get, the more snobby and floggish they become, and they sook about shit that once a time they would have been celebrating about. So, I figure that the big companies get whacked a lot, and I'm not going to lie, Qantas shit me from time to time, but probably no more than any other airline doing what they do. But recently, as in just yesterday, I rocked into the Qantas Club and I looked up and I didn't even focus, and I just said to this bloke, I said, mate, I'm on an 8:30. I'm here already. I don't know, she's 5 o'clock. Any chance you could, any opportunities to get on a flight? I looked at his face. His name to her. Oh, Belly. And I hadn't seen this bloke for bloody, I don't know, 20 years, I suppose. And he's one of our listeners, God forbid. But
Hello.
True story, he tunes into the show, and I used to compete with him. I thought, you bloody... He's now a big knob at Qantas, bloody organising shit. Hey, hands on heart, he didn't get me on an earlier flight. He didn't give me an upgrade. He gave me nothing. But he gave me his time. And he didn't have to do that. We had a bloody good chat, and I just thought, you know what? I said to him, what's it like, mate? You know, your job, do they look after you? And he goes, actually, Qantas, they do look after us. We get some good perks and plenty of travel things and opportunities. Shout out to the kids trying to work out what to do for a job. If you're looking for a company to work for and you want cheap travel, get a job in the airlines. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. But what I was really happy about, JT, is I said to him, mate, what's it like? You must get to meet the stars. He goes, oh, you know, we meet a few, but there's a lot of flogs. And it's like, oh, I was really surprised that he actually gets assaulted. Like, not bashed or anything like that, but people become quite violent, quite shitty if they don't get what they want. And I just thought, mate, people that put up with shit, and I saw at the hospital the other day that there's just a level of society, and you just go, you're just a dickhead, mate. There's no nice way to put it. And my shout out, JT, is for the people like Belly. It's the people that cop shit that's unwarranted. They turn up to work to do a good day's job, and then they just get shit like that. So shout out. I know the big people get whacked a lot, but I just wanted to go, hey, shout out to you, mate, because I know people do look after you when they can, and I really rate that, but it doesn't always go your own way. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Mate, that's a wonderful shout out, and any time Qantas want to win me back with a few upgrades, I am more than happy to listen. So it's been a long time since I've had my platinum, Donny, but we live in hope, right?
I'll see what he can do.
Yeah, see what you can do, mate. Now, of course, I said I would love to give a bit of a quick shout out, and my shout out's going to go to this place here, Donny. Now, I don't know if you've actually heard of it.
All the time.
King of the Roast. Now, for those of you that don't live in Melbourne, and it's particularly out in the southwestern suburbs, you've probably never heard of this place. But I love one of the signs. I should have taken a photo of it inside. Is saying it is one of Melbourne's best kept secrets. And I've got to say, Don,
not now. We're bloody on the GiddyUp Podcast.
Mate, it bloody is. The guy that runs that place had a bit of a chat to me. He's getting on a bit, and he's a little bit hard to hear. And my hearing's not the best, so I'm really leading in. But he's been there for 35 years in that shop.
Whoa.
And if you love your meat, so apologies to all the vegetarians that are listening at the moment, but if you love your meat, you are not going to find a better roast meat. It is a very popular place. A lot of tradies and stuff go in there and they get the rolls. They're very famous for their roast beef rolls, lunch. But they also do catering for parties and that sort of stuff. So you literally just go and buy the trays. It is the best food. And so if you're ever in the neighbourhood, make sure you drop in, support a local business. They bloody need a bit of help. And particularly people like that have been there for 35 years. You sort of go, mate, the guy could hardly walk. I kid you not. He was just shuffling along and all that. But, you know, he was happy to have a chat and loveliest guy you'll ever meet. So, yeah, that's my little shout out to King of the Roast, Clarinda Road there, as Jamum just pointed out there in Clarinda.
That's bang on, JT, and those guys have catered for us for different parties that we've had over the years as well, which has been awesome. And what I really love is that I remember driving past there for a while, and they had "It's a Boy," you know, the big sign up there, or a little boy, girl, I can't bloody remember. But they really, really went to town and celebrated the fact that they'd had a baby and the joy. And you know what the thing about it is. I did some work at Sidetrack for a while, and it was bloody awesome. And so I'd go past there in the morning. That was often our spot for lunch. But they're cooking in the night time to make sure that the traders have got it for brekkie. They just do not sleep, those people. Bloody legends. Good shout out.
Mate, I thought, they deserve a shout out. So anyway, King of the Roast, Clarinda Road, Clarinda, if you're in the neighbourhood, drop in and say g'day. Tell them you're a friend of the GiddyUp Podcast. It'll mean absolutely nothing, but it'll make us feel better. That's them. Now, Donnie, you sort of just touched on something then. I just want to sort of cover it because it was in the news a couple of days ago, and it was pretty fascinating because Bunnings dropped some footage a couple of days ago, Don, where you talk about customers going feral. I don't know if you saw this footage, but Bunnings, Bunnings got a little bit of a whack a couple of days ago because a few years ago they started putting cameras in their stores, and they were basically using facial recognition as you come into the store. So they're literally scanning everyone that was coming in the store. And of course, there's a whole bunch of issues around, you know, human rights and all this sort of stuff. And they got taken to I'm not sure exactly what court it was, but anyway, they got done. And so it was in the news a couple of days ago. Now, Bunnings have hit out and gone, well, they're not happy about it. And they said that they brought it in to protect their staff. And they actually released some footage of some very violent incidents happening at Bunnings, and it was confronting to see. Yeah, it was, and I'm sure some of our listeners might have seen it on the news. There was some pretty confronting footage of just, you know, people just punching people and throwing shit, and it wasn't great. They had the managing director of Bunnings on saying, well, you know, he wants them to review the decision because he said we're just trying to protect our staff, and you know, what's wrong with that kind of thing. Now, I kind of agree with him in terms of you want to do everything you can to protect your staff. No staff member, whether they work in customer service, my industry, or any industry, no one deserves to be, you know, treated like that. There is no place for that shit in our society whatsoever.
There is if you're in boxing.
Well, if you're in boxing, that's right.
Soft.
Yeah, that's right. But Bunnings, where you get an absolute slap and deserve the slap, is not telling people. So there was absolutely no signage out the front saying, you know, warning you may be filmed. And so you could make a choice and go, you know, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not going to go into your store. But you didn't tell people. That is not okay. So you deserve the whack for that. Credit to you for trying to find ways to protect your staff. And if you can flag that there's some violent offenders that have walked into your store and you can do something about that, all credit to you. But give people the courtesy of telling them that you're actually doing it first.
Yeah, I like it, JT. It's a bloody good point. I spend a lot of time in Bunnings and I spend a fair bit of cash in there too. Hence why I bought West Farmer shares a little while ago to try and recoup a bit of that coin. And they've gone very, very well, just quietly. Over the years, they've tracked nicely. So, but JT, the funny thing about going to, I don't know if it's funny, but... facial recognition, is there anywhere, like, do we need a sign? Are you just being a flog? Like, what? Like, there's...
Probably.
You can't walk out of your house without being on camera.
Yeah,
So
it's getting to that point.
Isn't it taken for granted?
But I think there's a difference between being filmed and facial recognition. And so I think it's really important we make that distinction. There's cameras everywhere, they're recording you. Facial recognition is you. It's identifying you personally. And I think that's the difference that was going on. Now, Ben said there were some signs. I do actually recall Jamum seeing a sign at one of the Bunnings once, but apparently it wasn't at all stores. So whether it was an optional thing for the stores or not, I don't know. But I definitely did see it at one of the stores.
And the thing I love about Jamum is he will go and spray paint on the front of money just to prove himself right, mate. He'll write a song there.
Coles and Woolies are also at it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, but they've been at it for a bit, haven't they? But they put out that it was all about the shoplifting and the gates closing and revenue and shit. But I had no idea that it was it's a violent place to go. I've never seen that sort of stuff in, every now and then a dog sort of yaps and stuff like that, which I was a bit surprised when dogs are wandering in and there's new dog stores and lines and aisles and shit. I'm going, hang on, I thought we were hardware, but now we're petware. But anyway, so be it. But I agree with you though, JT. I think facial recognition, when it starts to put my face with my name and somebody's got a record of that, I'm pretty happy to know about that before that shit's happening.
Yeah, and it is, to Melissa's point, it is starting to happen, everywhere. And, of course, if it is for staff protection, you understand that. But where it can be used for so many other things other than that. It can just track my trends and see what my shopping habits are, and you extrapolate that over hundreds of thousands of millions. And yeah, that's right. So anyway, we digress in terms of that whole facial recognition AI space. But I think there's a bit more to play out from that in consumer space that I'm sure we'll be hearing about. Now, Don, we do have some trivia questions tonight, like we do every other show. So I'm going to get into our first trivia question. Now, I've gone a theme. I always pick a theme. And the theme for tonight, Don, is because we've got something pretty heavy coming up, I thought what we should do is we should go for something pretty light. So our trivia questions tonight are all about things happy. We're going to bring some happiness to the world.
Oh, your team.
So our first trivia question, guys, if you haven't played this before, if you're watching at home, you have to be playing this live, otherwise bad luck. But anyone who gets the right answer, you just have to put A, B, C or D into the comments before we close it off. And anyone who gets the right answer goes onto the wheel to win a wonderful bottle of Spank that we'll be drawing later in the show. So our first question tonight is, it's one of your favourite movie genres, Donnie. Ooh. Everyone loves a rom-com, feel-good rom-coms. So our first question tonight is, what is the highest grossing rom-com of all time? Was it A, My Big Fat Greek Wedding in 2002? Was it Pretty Woman, B, 1990? Was it C, Something About Mary in 1998? Or was it The Mermaid, so that's covering over, in D, for 2016? Now, Don, I know you love your rom-coms. So A, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, B, Pretty Woman, C, Something About Mary, or D, The Mermaid. Get your answers in. We are just about to close it off there, Donnie. What are you thinking, Don? What are you thinking, mate?
This is bloody tough. Well, all of them. I don't know the mermaid one. I'm not sure. Was that the one where they had the real mermaid? Was it?
You know, mermaids aren't real, Donnie.
No. But the human made one. So was that an animated one, or is it the?
No, it was real.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was real.
Okay. No, JT, I'm sort of, there's some funny shit in Something About Mary, Big Fat Greek Wedding, that was a bit piss funny too.
Very good.
Oh, geez, I don't know, mate. I'd have to, this would be multiple choice. I'd roll the dice for this one. No idea. I do what I do in all my maths exams at school when it's multiple choice, and I'll see which one I haven't picked for a while, and then I'll pick that one.
Interesting. Well, which one out of all that, Donnie? We've got to get someone to close it off for us now, so it is time to close this off.
D would be the one that I'd pick. Right, shut it off. Someone say closed for us so we know it's closed, please.
Close. I'll just get that up playing. So, Donnie, if you had said My Big Fat Greek Wedding in 2002, can you believe this? I did not know this, Don. But that movie, do you know how much money that made?
20 mil.
Mate, $374 million. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? So that was...
Didn't they make a sequel to that?
Yeah, that didn't go too well, like a lot of sequels. So anyway, it wasn't that one. It wasn't Pretty Woman.
Work after that.
I know. It wasn't Something About Mary. It was The Mermaid. 2016. Donnie, you got it. Now, I know you're probably going, if you're like me, going, what the hell is The Mermaid? Because I'd heard all the others. They're absolute classics. But The Mermaid is a Chinese Hong Kong fantasy film, and basically it just broke a whole bunch of records, like biggest ever box office day, blah, blah, blah. And essentially what it is, it focuses on a womanizer businessman played by Deng Chao, who ultimately falls in love with a mermaid who is sent to assassinate him, and of course love prevails. But yeah, the highest grossing movie at $525 million. Number 2, for those interested, was the classic Pretty Woman at $432 million. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, as I said, was actually third of all time, $374 million. Something About Mary was a little bit further down the list, and that came in at number 5, $369 million.
Mate, we're in the wrong game, JT. How do we get in the movie space?
Bloody hell, I know, right?
Millions, mate. What? That's a lot of coin. That probably explains why I didn't recognise it, actually, that Chinese-made movie. Didn't. Not what I was
looking at the answers there. Oh, come on!
Did anyone get that right?
Can you believe there's only one person who got it right? And guess who it is, Donnie?
What did I say?
Bloody hell, mate! Seriously,
I'll tell you what, the Big Fat Wheel is going to have only one person on there. Oh, you lot got to lift your game, mate. That is unbelievable. Well, yes, not really, because Kim D is if she drank every bottle she won, she'd be more legless than me, JT.
Mate, she would be having some serious issues with the mate, like our overseas friends. She'd be stomach pumping kind of stuff.
Yes. Yep. No. Not with Spank. No, you can drink heaps.
No, you can.
And you're still good. Yep.
Good,
Don't
good
encourage you to drive. Definitely Uber worthy, Spank. But that's bloody incredible. Right. Well, JT's voice is distorted. That's the word I was.
I am fixing that as we speak. Thank you, whoever gave me the heads up.
Ev's told us that, but Ev, it's not a communication thing, is it? We're lost in translation.
No,
is Ev still in Thailand?
Should be all fixed, Ev. Hopefully that's better. Thanks for the heads up. Weird. There's a little.
Or you just start whispering.
Weird bug going on with Rode at the moment. Need to get that sorted.
Oh, jeez! Didn't you do some work for Rode? Didn't you fix all their problems?
Did train all the Rode team globally in their customer service team. Great team. Love the Rode people. And if there's ever a problem, they are very quick to sort it out. I tell you.
Okay.
So we do love them. Now, Don. Well, I don't know where we go with this. We have got. I did talk it up. I have got possibly one of the best. Too soft now, yeah. I get that.
Oh, yeah, he's been soft for a long time, Jemum.
I am trying to work on that. Let me just turn that up a little bit. We'll get it right. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better now. All right, so, hopefully you can hear me now. All right, now, Don, we have got some light stuff, but I think we might need to, we've been talking about this for a while, I think we might need to get this one over and done with, because it is a pretty hard one to talk about.
Righto, let's go. Have you got
now, Don, I'm probably not going to say too much because I know it won't end well.
No, I'll go with this, JT, and the reason I'm going to go with it is because, well, just recently in the news there was a lady and she's been murdered by her neighbour, and that lady we both worked with, and you had a relationship with her, not a sexual relationship, but a friendship. You're still friends on Facebook, but just to clarify that, we've got history. And we were talking earlier, JT, about the communities that we belong in, that we cruise through in our life, and we connect with people, and some people we stay in touch with, and of course Australia Post has got 30,000 employees, and you leave there after a period of time, and you might stay in touch with a handful, like seriously a handful of people, and some of those people you get on Facebook, some of them jump on here and have a chat with us on here, but rarely and highly unlikely that it will ever happen again. We certainly didn't want it to happen this time, but to see one of those people on the news being murdered is something that is absolutely gobsmacking. And I know that it's a tough thing to read, to hear about. And when we were putting the show together today, I said, mate, I think Vicky should actually be the hero of the week. And the reason I say that, and I didn't see the story, you broke that news to me, and it was it was tough. But the simple the short version is that her neighbour come home, drug, alcohol affected, and his son ran across the road to Vicky's house for refuge, and then the dad lost his shit, went over there, and Vicky opened the door and she was stabbed to death in front of her own two kids and also in front of that fella's son. There is nothing nice about this. It's a terrible, terrible situation. The reason we're raising it is because I have been, and I know JT you are as well, very vocal when it comes to domestic violence, and you wouldn't put this in a domestic violence category, but again, it still is violence towards women, and we joke about the fight and that sort of stuff. The world was watching, but this is a completely different story. This is a situation where drugs, as far as we're aware, has got the better of somebody, and they've done something that, when they're in the light of day, I would suggest would be absolutely devastated that they've done this. No, not known to police, so that suggests already that, you know, this is a first, but it's also a last. It's the last time that she'll ever be able to hug her kids will be able to hug her. It's just plain sad. We wanted to let the community know that as much as we joke and have a lot of fun about a lot of different things, that's never okay. And it is sad, and we're feeling the pain. Our community's been rattled, and there'll be people that won't be able to just turn on Facebook and see a like from Vicky again. And I know, JT, it was a tough one for you, mate, to see this news and to have to reconcile the fact that somebody that, you know, you worked with so many years ago and stayed in contact with is no longer with you. So that's I don't know if you've got anything more to say, mate. I don't, but apart from, mate, it was a tough
to talk about. It's just fuck.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, I don't actually think there is much to say, mate. It's one of those things. The court will do what it's going to do, but yeah, just a shout out to anybody who is affected by violence, to anybody who, opens the door because they hear a call for help. I want to say thank you for doing that. It's a tough thing. You never ever know what's on the other side of that, and you sure as shit don't believe that doing that is going to end your life. So a tough space, but well done, Vicky, for just being you, and for lighting up the rooms that you were in when you were in them, and for just unfortunately leaving us way too early through an act of, honestly, heroism. So yeah.
No, it's exactly right. And as you can see on the graphic, Vicky's the 83rd woman killed this year in 2024 through violence. We have a shit culture here in Australia. It is not okay in any shape or form. But she's just trying to defend a kid. Like, what the fuck? It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Really.
So on that note...
So pretty shit. Sorry to bring the show down a little bit, but we just thought it was really important to give her the shout out that she deserved, because, you know, she opened the door to a kid that was in need and paid the ultimate price for it. And not only that, you know, she lost her life, her kids' lives, who, you know, aren't young kids, are also going to be affected. Your mum's been killed in front of you. No one's ever going to forget that. So it's a horrible situation for everyone involved. So to Vicky's family, just know that we noted, she's loved. I hadn't spoken to Vicky for years. Like, literally, this is the thing with with Facebook. It was literally a text every day, happy birthday once a year, pretty much was where it was at. But, you know, it's just, these are people that you work with. These aren't statistics on the news. These are real people. And, you know, the reason we thought it was right to put her in the Hero was a week, because she bloody was. She opened the door. She had a 16-year-old kid who was shit scared, running away from his dad, who was probably going absolutely ballistic at him. And she put herself in front of that and paid the ultimate price. So you don't get any bigger hero in my world than that. So anyway, that's enough. Rest in peace.
JT, you did say one thing in it, and you said we're sorry to bring the show down. Well, you know what? Honestly, I say we don't apologise. We when we put this show together and we decided we wanted to do the GiddyUp podcast, it was to share a bit of light and to have some fun, but it was to keep it real. It was to have two blokes having a conversation, discussing the stuff that was off limits or kept quiet. And particularly if there's something that affects us, then we're not going to shy away from having a chat about it, as hard as it is to chat about it. And the same matters to our listeners from our point of view. If there's something that's really important to you, and it might not be warm and fuzzy, it might be really, really disturbing and uncomfortable and ugly part of society, but it matters. And that's really what our podcast is about. It's about taking the real stuff in life and having a chat about it, no matter what it looks like.
Well said, Donnie. Always a very calm head when I get very emotional. So anyway, as I said, best wishes to Vicky's family. I can't even imagine how tough a time it is for them right now, supporting the boys and obviously just grieving themselves. So and it's a big post community, as you said, Donnie. We are 30,000 people. We don't know all of them, but we certainly got to know quite a lot of them. And Vicky, I think was still working there. I think, right? So no doubt, there's a lot of people at Post, not only in our sort of world, but in the world since that we both left. There's a lot of people there that I'm sure are also feeling that pain. So anyway, that's it for that segment. But absolutely very worthy hero of the week. All right, Donnie, we need to switch gears and get something funny again. Just so happens, I have funny trivia questions. I have dad jokes. I have lots of stuff.
You've been threatening us with the funniest dad joke of all time that you've got up your sleeve for tonight.
Donnie, no expense has been spared on this dad joke. This is
scares you when you say that.
High production values. This is I'm telling you, he's one of the best. And if people don't give me the bloody kudos that I deserve for this one, Don, you can all get stuffed, because this is one that I absolutely I'm really confident that it's a good one. So and thank you, John, mate. Much appreciated. So let's get into the second trivia question. It's from a little, here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note.
Note for note. What have you got, JT?
Ring a bell, those lyrics to anyone? Our next trivia question is about, one of the classic happy songs that there actually is. Don't Worry, Be Happy won what award in 1989? Was it A, Best Pop Vocal Performance? Was it B, Song of the Year? Was it D, Album of the Year? Or was it D, Best Music Video? Don't worry, be happy.
JT, is there an all of the above? Because how did that miss any of those? Like, that was just, and it's on the Ready Set Connect playlist that I roll out at every event. That song, because it's a bloody cool song.
It's a great song. It's feeling, a catchy song. So get your answers in. Don't worry. Cut the answers off there. So
good luck, guys.
A, B,
good luck.
C or D. Get those answers in, and then we'll get someone to close.
I'll tell you what all the smart people are doing right now, JT. They're not Googling, they're just waiting to see what Kim does and just follow her, mate. That's exactly what I've been doing. Oh, I'll tell you what, she's red hot tonight, isn't she? Most nights just boom and yep.
There's your choices again. I'll put them up on the screen.
Mel's stuck with
So A.
Mel's gone with the very, very, very smart strategy of going, there's no way he'll do two of the same letters in a row. That's her thinking there. Ev's gone with Ev's gone with A. I like it. All right, get him in. Get him in. I want to see these answers, and then we'll... I'm surprised. Now, actually, best music video, I cannot remember many music videos. I remember Andre Agassi, not Andre Agassi, Andre, what was who was that? Andre, he's on the beach and he's had the six-pack and he was...
Curious Girl, Peter Andre?
No. Peter Andre. Remember that? So I remember one of his ones. I remember horses on the beach and that woman in the white on the horse. That I thought, gotta get a glimpse. And that was as a kid growing up, horses was a. But apart from that, I do not remember many music videos. You have
to remember "Addicted to Love."
Is that Robert Palmer with all the girls in the black skirts?
Robert Palmer, yeah.
Yes, okay, I got that one, yes. But like, there's not many. But it was so. You know what I liked about those music videos is they hinted about sex. They didn't go and just have about like a full blown orgy. They just about have today's videos. But it was like Wicked.com. But it was just a hint, and that was what was sexy about it. So anyway, I'm just going to have a quick look here. JT, has everyone got their answers in? Well, anyone who wanted to.
What would you have gone?
Best pop vocal performance, song of the year, album of the year. Well, I don't know about album because he really only had that one song. Did it? It was a Bobby. Not Bobby McGee.
I think it was Bobby McFarlane. I think was the.
Oh, Bobby McFarlane. Yep. Was he married to Whitney Houston?
Ooh, I think he might have been. Yes.
He might have been a real shit influence on Whitney, if I recall. Anyway.
There's your answer, guys. It was it was A. Too soft. Soft was about your body. All good, Def. Figured that. So yeah, A. Best pop vocal performance. So
best
well
pop vocal, JT.
A. Kim, John, Ben, and Ev. I believe.
Oh, Kim! Surprise!
Is that right? I know Kim. Bloody hell! Done it again.
Oh, she's on there twice now. She's the only person on there twice, wasn't she? Bobby McFerrin.
She is the only one that is on there twice, indeed.
If she was on there last week, just leave her on. Actually, I don't think Kim tuned in last week because I didn't send her a bottle of Spank. That's why I'm saying I'm not sure she tuned in.
We should take one of her off then if she didn't tune in last week. Can we start punishing people?
She's busy. She does a lot of shit. She's busy, Kim.
There we go. So that is on. We got one question to go. So 3 trivia questions tonight. We have got one to go.
Good to have. Big shout out there to Mel as well. Her boy Maxie has also just finished year 12. Super exciting. Every time I really feel excited for parents when their kids finish year 12 because it's a relief. There's a lot of stress. So well done, Mel. Righto.
Exactly right. And of course, it wouldn't be right if I didn't give a shout out to my own beautiful daughter, Em, who also finished year 12 this year. So congrats, Em. And I was going to put it in for Dickhead of the Week, but did we hear about the stuff up in Victoria with the exams? Did you hear about
was there a duplicate question or something?
Well,
Tell me.
Basically leaked some questions online, like an accident. I don't know how these things happen, right? But the actual questions and answers that were used in the tests, a lot of students got a hold of them, and they were the exact questions and answers that were used in the exam. So clearly, anyone who saw them had a very unfair advantage. So, you've got a lot of kids who didn't see it, who did all the hard work, did the study or didn't, and, have got an unfair advantage now. And the government knew about it 4 weeks earlier than it happened and still didn't fix it. And the head of that area has now resigned
JT, I'm telling you now, that is deliberate every day of the week because what they're trying to do is work out, okay, if this gets out, like, will it go viral? Will, we're going to find the next IT gurus in all this shit? Like, so,
I'm
deliberate,
supposed to be the one on the conspiracy theories, Don, not you. It's unbelievable. All right, now there's a lot of world stuff going on. World War III happening at the moment. It's big stuff. We're not going to talk about that tonight.
Who's in that?
Big stuff going on. Well, mate, it's we'll get into it another week. We're not going to get into it. But it is unfolding very quickly, it's fair to say, in that space. It's bizarre stuff going on.
So if we're not on for the podcast next week, are we going to blame World War III? Is that where you're going with this?
Not quite. But now, Don, one of these segments that has taken the world by storm, and when I say the world, I mean our 10 listeners that are on right now. So I'm embellishing a little bit, but we have this segment called Once Upon a Time where we take you back and...
Oh, that has taken off.
So I've got 2 very cool sayings for you today.
Oh, cool.
Once upon a time.
Now, Donnie, I need to put that screen back on.
Best voiceover.
It's great, isn't it? I love it. Now, have you heard this saying, straight from the horse's mouth?
Oh, I have heard this.
All the time, right? And it normally means that we trust the information to be reliable because it came from someone who would know, right? So where did our equine friends get this admirable reputation for truth-telling? Well,
that was my
turns out, Donnie, we've done a bit of digging and there's a couple of explanations. And I want to see which one you are going to go with, because one was that it seems
I like when you put me under pressure.
I know, right? So the first one was that they think it might have originated in racing circles as a kind of joke. So a good betting tip was said to have come straight from the horse's mouth, since the horse would know best what kinds of chances it had in the race. Right?
All in good form.
That's exactly right. But another explanation is to do with horses' teeth. So when selling a horse, the owner back in the day might have lied about its age. And since the only totally reliable way of determining the horse's age is by examining its teeth, the truth about the horse's age is best checked by looking into its mouth. So the truth comes straight from the horse's mouth.
Oh, JT, now you do know I like a punt, and you do know like a whisper, and have you heard it? You got any so I can see why option A there was credible, because the horses you can, do mounting yard report and have a little look at their mouth and their. No, I'm going to go with B. I like that. I like the fact that some smart people would check the teeth and go, 7.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been B, but I like the story around A as well. So now the other one I wanted to share with our listeners, and let me know if you like that one in the comments.
Wait, is there a true answer, or
that is the two
we don't know.
that they believe it's originated from.
Okay,
so
right.
No 100%.
This segment's taking a turn.
This one does have a bit more of an origin behind it. Now, you've probably heard the saying, you would never have done this, Donnie, I've known you for a long time, when you steal someone's thunder.
Oh yeah, I reckon I've got one for this. Not that I've done it, but I reckon it's where you we got to take credit for shit that's not yours.
That's right. Yeah. So you're taking credit for someone else's achievement and essentially robbing them of the praise that they might have got. Right. So now the story behind this is it originates way back from the 18th century, and there was a playwright. His name was John Dennis, and he invented a new machine called a thunder sheet for creating storm sounds on stage. And it was for a play called Appius and Virginia. It was back in 1709. So this is a few hundred years. Now, the story goes that sadly, the cutting edge special effects of the day back then weren't enough to save the play. And the play itself was a flop. But later, Dennis heard that same venue, which was the Theatre Royal in Drury Lane, was using his machine for a production of Macbeth without his permission. So according to the story, the furious writer declared, "The villains will play my thunder, but not my plays." They had stolen his thunder. Literally.
Blow my mind. That's impressive, JT. Jesus, this is why it's not that critical that I do no research, because what you come up with is worth both of mine and yours together. It's very, very good, mate. That is, wow, I had no idea. That's bloody awesome.
Angle, by the way, what do you think of that? Yeah, mate, I thought that was they were two interesting ones. Tell me which one was more interesting. But I love the thunder one. I just thought I like when it can go back to a specific time and name a person where it came from. I think that's pretty cool. So
that is very cool. Once upon a time, that's got legs, JT. That segment will take off.
If we get lots of legs, I'll give you one, mate.
Oh, I'll take it. I've got a bag of them in my shed, about 50 of them, worth a bit in their day, useless now. Mate, I gave one to my mum a while back, a long, long time ago. I gave her on Mother's Day. I thought, fuck, what am I going to give her? So I got one of my legs and put a pot plant in it, and I gave her that as a pot plant holder. Unfortunately, I didn't really think about this. It was aligned for me to walk with, not to stand up and hold pot plant, so the fucking thing kept falling over all the time. But anyway, she did like the thought of it. But yes. Sorry, mate, you were saying.
No, I was just going to say, I saw something on the news literally yesterday, or it might have been TikTok or somewhere anyway. How
it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know, pretty much is these days. You know how we've had a lot of people that have been, I always get this wrong, paraplegic and quadriplegic, the one with your legs don't work. Is that
para? So the easy way to remember is para being 2, parallel, quad being 4. So all 4 limbs are fucked, you're a quad. Yep.
See, how easy is that? There we go. We are learning a lot.
All to do with where the lesion is in your spine. Basically, the higher up the incident, like if it's in your neck, you're a quad for sure. Incomplete quad as well, that's another thing. So It means you still might have the function, but you won't have the strength to go with it. Let's say in a nutshell. Anyway, back to your story. Where were we going?
Mate, you've probably heard of, and you probably might have even seen these, the exoskeletons that are basically enabling people that are paraplegic to walk. It's literally like a robotic suit, effectively, that they put on, and it enables them to stand vertical and actually walk, right?
I have seen these, yes.
Now, but I saw, that's been around for a while.
I did like your
levels of success with it. I saw something yesterday, and it was literally like the future has arrived. They've got this new, and I'll see if I can find it for our listeners next week. They've got this new exoskeleton that's out that walks to the person in the chair by itself. So
that's fucking not freaky at all, is it?
And it goes and it comes over to them, so they can actually get into and then obviously walk. So mate, it was quite extraordinary. So I thought just
that is really
was, I was like, wow. So I'll see if I can pull out the footage and I will share it with our...
Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Ghost. You know when Whoopi Goldberg and he hops inside her and uses her body. A bit of that action, mate.
No surprise, I may have shed a few tears when I was watching that movie.
It was a bloody good movie.
Bloody tough, wasn't it? Now, Don, should we do the dad joke or should we do the third trivia? Should we? What do you reckon?
Oh, we've got more trivia. Holy shit, you're guilty. I'm going to have to get in the distillery to make this much spank. But that's okay. This is good. Are we going to do one bottle or three? What are we going to do?
Oh, mate, that's always your call.
Well, we want everyone on the wheel, so we'll. Why don't we just put everyone on the wheel and we'll decide. We'll decide later. Right, let's go to the other trivia.
Oh, we're going to the other trivia? All right, so the third
Then we're going to go dad joke and... okay, and wrap it up. That's what we'll do, yes.
Oh, yeah, all right. Okay, so the third one is coming up now.
No.
What hormone is often called the happiness hormone? Is it A, dopamine? Is it B, cortisol? Is it C, melatonin? Or is it D, adrenaline? What hormone is often called the happiness hormone? A, dopamine, B, cortisol, C, melatonin, or D, adrenaline?
I'm going to have a crack at this, JT, and I'll walk you through, Eddie Maguire, of my thinking, if you like.
I'd love to.
Happiness, I think adrenaline, that's the rush drug. So I think that gets you going when your heart's butchka. Cortisol, I'm going to tip that. I'm going to put that in with like cortisone, so it's like a masking agent. This is my thinking, and don't wait for my response, guys. Put your own in because you're probably going to go way closer to getting this. The melatonin, I reckon, it reminds me too much of some sleeping tablets I take, so I think that's a go to sleep one.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go dopamine, just because I've eliminated the other three, and that's my thinking. My thinking is dopamine.
All right, so Donnie's locking in A. I love the whole walkthrough of the Eddie Maguire. You've ruled a couple out. You're left with one or two, and I
probably did it a bit quicker because there wasn't $1 million on the line, but then we didn't have to go to ad breaks.
Well, that's also very true. So, Donnie, waiting for someone to say close.
Yes, we need a closer. Please, if we've got a closer. And then we'll get your real thinking, JT, because you know this shit. You do the research for this. So you did say tonight's theme was happiness, didn't you, in all your trivia? So don't worry, be happy. It's a happy drug. What was the first question? What was it?
That was the movie, the rom-com.
That's right, a happy, yes, of course, yes, a romantic comedy, of course. There we go, righto.
It is closed, thanks guys.
John's closed it, righto.
It is officially closed. The question is, did Mel sneak in there just before, in between two close? I say yes, because it's the...
Wait, where's the close? No, I've got her in as long before close. No, big shout out to Craig Weston too. He's a little mad unit. Where are you seeing?
If your answer was melatonin, Don, you got it 100% right. That'll put you to sleep. It is not melatonin. That is out. Cortisol is the stress hormone. So when you stress, your body releases cortisol. It makes you put on weight. Does a whole bunch of other evil things we don't like.
That's
cortisol.
My problem.
Yes, it might be. Stress, my friend. We need to get rid of that.
Right.
D. Donnie, adrenaline. When you doing thrilling activities, jumping off cliffs, doing all that stuff, that is 100% adrenaline, which leaves number 8, Don. I love your work. Your answer was 100% correct. It is a dopamine. So
Giddy up.
whether it's gambling, whether it's foods that you love, whatever, it is releasing a dopamine. That is the feel-good hormone. So well done to everyone that got the answer A for that one. I will write that down. 3. Well
So what
done.
did Kim bloody respond, or she's boycotting because she's got too many right already?
No,
Have we put her on the?
Of course she got bloody A. Of course she did. Seriously.
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing.
Unbelievable.
Did she? Are you seeing the list I'm seeing?
I think
I'm
so.
only seeing a couple of people responded to that.
Oh, no,
Frank.
no, there was lots of... no, you're not
What's
seeing
going on?
seeing
What
it,
am I
mate.
missing?
Because you're missing a bit by the look of it. So, Craig...
Story of my life.
According to me, we've got Kim, Evan, Jamam, Craig, and Melissa. Were all the ones that got that right.
Wow, I'm definitely missing some comments on there. Oh,
A
well,
bit behind
so
that.
be it. As long as one of us got it. No, I've got John with his clothes and everything before that, but not Kim.
There you
Oh,
All right, so
Don't matter.
we had some names ready to go.
well. Right, you get them on there. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going
They are
to
on.
brace myself for the dad joke of the century. Is that, what are you calling this one? Is this your highlight? Is this your best one for the year? Or, well, it's not about us. It's about what the people think.
Yeah, we'll let the people decide if it's the best one. But Don, I have to say that the production values of this are off the chart. So,
Giddy.
so let's go. Let's just start getting to it. Here we go. I've got to find. I can't bloody find the sticker. It's not a good start. Here we go.
Dad joke of the week.
Don, the people's favourite segment has arrived, and I talk it up every week, Don. I know I do, and I always say, this is the best ever joke of the dad joke.
You do say that a bit.
And, well, this is the best dad joke ever. So, again, production values, wait for this one, Donnie. This is going to knock you out. So, not a good start, but there's a guy called Juan.
Quam.
And all his life, he just wanted to drive trains. Yeah. See
Look
where
at
I'm
you
going
go.
with this, eh? Yeah.
Look at you
We got
go.
effects going here. This is big. Now, he loved his job. Driving a train has been his dream ever since he was a child, and he loved to make the train go as fast as possible, Donnie. Unfortunately, though, one day he was a little bit too reckless and caused a crash.
Oh, no.
I know. And look, he made it out, but unfortunately, someone died.
Oh.
I know. Well, look, needless to
I thought
say...
this was a...
I know. But needless to say, he went to court over the incident. He was found guilty. And unfortunately, the country where Juan was from, they take public safety very serious. He was found guilty and sentenced to death by electrocution.
Holy sh...
Oh, mate,
That's
they don't
very
muck around.
serious.
Mate, they don't
okay.
muck around over there. Now, when the day the execution came, he requested a single banana as his last meal. And after eating the banana, he was strapped into the electrical chair. The switch was flown, sparks flew, and smoke filled the air, Donnie.
Oh.
But nothing happened. The man was perfectly fine. Well, at the time, and this guy, he was in Bulgaria, at the time, there was an old Bulgarian law that said if a failed execution was a sign of divine intervention. So, he was allowed to go free.
Happy days!
Exactly right. Now, somehow, Juan, because he just loved trains, he managed to get his old job back driving the train.
No.
I know. But unfortunately, Juan wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, and he hadn't really learnt his lesson at all. So he went right back to driving the train with reckless abandon, Donnie. He's like cranking up the speed, going down that train tracks, here we go. Woo, woo. He's going nuts, right? And so, again, the train's speeding up, out of control, and you're not going to believe it, another crash. And Don, unfortunately, this time, he killed 2 people. Now, I know, the trial went pretty much the same as the first one. No surprise here, resulted in the sentence of execution. So for his final meal, this time the man requested 2 bananas. Now, after eating his bananas,
Hang on a minute.
he was strapped into the electric chair. The switch was thrown, sparks flew, smoke filled the room. But once again, the man was unharmed. All okay. So, of course, in Bulgaria, that means divine intervention, you're allowed to go free. So off he goes, he walks away going, woo, lives another day. Now, of course, mate, he loves trains. So guess what? Where does he want to go and work? Of course he wants to go back and drive the trains. So guess what? They're pretty loose at the recruitment agency here at the train driving station. And he gets his old job back. Now, to what should be the surprise of absolutely none of our listeners right now, you're not going to believe what happened. Of course, he crashed another train. And this time, Don...
I can't believe it.
I know. He's careless one. He's very careless. But this time, he killed 3 people.
What are the odds? Like, seriously.
I know. And so, once again, Don, he goes through the court, and you don't need to be a fortune teller here to realise that the punishment, of course, was he was sentenced to death again. And on the day of his execution, Donnie, what did he request?
Surely a banana.
3 bananas this time. Of course, he requested 3 bananas. But, you know what? This time, the execution has gone, nah. Mate, I have had it with you and your stupid bananas and just walking out of here unharmed. So, you know what? Stuff you. I'm not going to give you a thing to eat. We're going to strap you into that bloody chair, and we're doing this now. Well, it was a little bit against protocol, but the man was just strapped in to the electric chair without his last meal. The switch was pulled, sparks flew, smoke filled the room.
Gets me every time.
And you're not going to believe it. The man was again unharmed.
Nah.
And the executioner, he's just speechless. And the man just sort of just looked at him, and the executioner's looking at him, and he goes, mate, what the hell? How did you... He goes, I'm just confused. He goes, oh, mate, the bananas had absolutely nothing to do with it. He goes, I'm just a bad conductor.
Oh, you took us for a while right there, JT. I'll tell you what, that is... hey, I can see why you like that. Let's see what the people think. It's not about what I think. It's not about what you think. Even though we're men of the people, JT, it's all about what the people think. What did you think, guys? Did JT hit the nail on the head with that one, or did he...
Mel came in about halfway through that. It was a long one, so wasn't worth it. Was the build-up worth it?
I come in about an hour late, so... but funny enough, I was able to catch up.
Yeah. Possibly the longest joke I've ever told as well. But there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Jamum, there we go.
Jamum,
love you.
He likes it. Mel, I'm not sure if Mel's given that the oh my God the same as like in the cot oh my God, or if that was just a letdown. I'm not sure about which one that is. But Ev likes it.
Way,
that's
right?
all right.
So, Ev, I'll take that. Thank you very much. So,
Johnny boy, he's all over that too. He was happy with it too. Because I was starting to wonder, I thought, are we getting ourselves in a place of no return here, and we're going to have no viewers next week? But I think they'll be back, JT. I think you've... Yeah, and that's a really good point, Kim. It was... But I'm glad you come back for the finish, though. That's the key. It's not what happens in the middle, it's what happens at the end. There had to be one. Bloody Mel. She's tough. She's tough. Hard to please, but fair enough. Who are we to judge?
All right. Well, we move on from Dad Joke. It's been
right. Let's get the wheel. Let's get that wheel spinning, baby.
Everyone. We are up to the wheel, Donnie. It is time to get the big wheel on the screen. As soon as I find the bloody
keeps
button,
on turning.
There it is. The wheel is up on the screen, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it just repeat Kim?
There's a lot of Kims. There's
bloody...
3 Kims. There is 3 Kims.
Good chance.
Can you believe
it's
it?
a good chance to win this.
So there we go. The names are all on.
Mel's
on
that
little window there. You can see it spinning around.
Johnny boy.
Don, count me in for me to hit that button.
Right, mate, here we go. Craig W, here we go. Good luck, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Spank it, JT. Righto, this is for a bottle of Spank. And I tell you what, your choice. What? Resident alcoholic.
The odds were in her favour, I suppose, weren't they? It's,
Who would have thought?
Bloody hell. You can open bottle shop
good
soon,
work,
Kim.
Kim. Got to be in it to win it, and you have been in it, and you have won it. So well done. That's all right. You know the drill. Just send me your flavour. And JT, just some nice flavours. I did just today. I was mixing some stuff up ready for the party on the weekend, and I did just say to Midgie, taste this, the pina colada. Oh, JT. Dead set mother's milk, that thing. Well worth whacking your laughing gear around that. It is beautiful. And I think, anyway, Kim, not to put words in your mouth, but you just let me know what flavour you'd like, and it'll be on its way.
There we go. So, Donnie, now it's been a couple of weeks since the show, so you would have had a lot of time to prepare your final, what do we call it? Final thought.
Final thought. I capture them, JT, when I'm going through my week.
Quickly making up something right now, which is.
And I will tell you one I've got for you, JT. I did that one last time. Right, here we go. Oh! No, I haven't got what I thought I had. Here we go. This is a nice one. This is one for... here we go. Nice final thought.
All right,
yes, go on.
Let's go with this one.
JT, this is my thought, and particularly I've got in my mind here the schoolies that are trying to celebrate and probably foraying into a space that is a bit new to some of them. And my advice is this, because a lot of them are leaving home for the first time, going on travel. So it's not just for the schoolies, but it is for all people. And that is, what's meant for you will always feel natural, calm and clear, not forced, chaotic or confusing. So there you go. What's meant for you, that's how it should feel. Don't force it, JT.
There we go. Always wise words of advice. Don had no idea what it means, but it sounded really wise. So
I'm
going with it. Guys, thanks everyone for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the show tonight.
Are we back next week, JT?
Hot rumour is that we are back next week as well. I think as much as we've been a little bit sort of a bit sporadic the last sort of month or two, I think this is our biggest ever year in terms of actual shows that we've done. So this is 28, episode 28. So we haven't done too bad this year.
I will be, JT, next week, Queensland. Oh, it's one of my little colleagues. It's one of her last days of work. So I'll be having a lunch with her, but then I'll be focused on the GiddyUp podcast in the evening. So
blasted, by in other words.
Probably not a lot of research. But anyway, who would have thought?
Just another
something different.
Yeah, exactly right. So, all right. Well, thanks, guys. There is a lot going on in the world at the moment. We'll cover off some of that stuff for you guys next week. I'll try and dig out that exoskeleton thing if I can get some footage of that, because it literally just blew my mind. It was pretty amazing.
And I wouldn't mind a crypto update either next week, JT, if you're still with us.
Guys, there's a lot happening in crypto. It's been a very, very exciting week, let me tell you. So
there'll be no show next week, JT's cashing in.
I might be travelling the world on my new private jet next week.
Vegas.
We'll see how we go. You're coming live from Vegas. So
here we go.
Anyway, thanks everyone. Donnie, we'll leave it up to you in your big moment.
See you next week. Giddy up.
All right. That's not me. I don't want to be all about me. All right, guys. See you next week.
All right.
Bye.